Woo! I saw some tiger there. I saw some tiger. Woo!
That was really cool. I never seen the stuff we've made edited like that before.
Oh.
That really tickled me. That really did tickle me.
Hey, that's what I do. Make sure you guys are pumped up, excited, and ready. Movie Dojo Army is slowly showing up right now. Sorry, guys, we started early today. We were just too excited. We just had to get it going now.
Yeah.
We're like, I started 10 minutes early. Who cares? We have in the house Therese Chen, editor, producer, actor, fight choreographer. Is there anything she hasn't done? I don't know. She's going to have to tell me.
Yes.
She's a woman of all trades. And David, that's right. What's going on, brother? Fellow martial artist, badass. That's right. Director, extraordinaire, everything. Everything. These two have done it. And I came across a short called Battle of Brothers. And I was like, oh, I have to, this is my shit. This is my shit. I have got to reach out somehow and try to, fingers crossed that I am able to get in touch with these badasses that help create the short. And I was just like, man, I gotta get this crew on here and talk about it. So it is an honor to have you guys here. And it's funny because yesterday during our Versus episode, we went back to horror because the whole month, it was kind of a Kung Fu month because we actually did the first ever live 24th annual Kung Fu Extravaganza, which is used to be for the past 23 years. It used to be a Comic-Con. And this is the first time only Comic-Con said no. And I was like, how you gonna say no to Kung Fu? What? So me and Rick Myers, he's the host, we got together and decided to, you know what, we're still gonna do it. Let's do it. We had guests. We had Vincent Lin and stuff like that. And Sonny Pang and all these other people gave us a shout out, which was really nice. And we went ahead and did it live, and it was a fun event. So if you guys haven't seen it, when you get some free time, go ahead and watch us knuckleheads and have a good time showing movie trailers and premieres and all that stuff. But after that, I was like, all right, I think I'm Kung Fu'd out. I'm like, the whole month has been reviews and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, man, let's go back to horror. So yesterday, we did a Versus episode. We did a Halloween versus a Nightmare on Elm Street. And that was a fun episode. And then I was just like, you know what? We got to try to squeeze in one more for Kung Fu. We're not done. We're gonna end Kung Fu month right, son. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do it right. Let's sneak in David and Therese this week. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We should have made it like a tribute to the old school Hong Kong horror Kung Fu movies, like Encounters of the Spooky Kind and The Vampires here. We should have done something like that, and then it would have been more, but maybe in the future.
Next time.
Maybe.
Next time.
But thank you for squeezing us in, man.
No, thank you. It's so awesome to be on.
Yeah, and out there in Sydney, and chat, before we got started, they were talking about some spiders.
Oh, yeah.
So we were just talking, we were talking about weather, Aussie weather and California weather and all that and the differences. And then all of a sudden you talk about some spiders. And I had to ask the question, how big are the spiders really that big out there? And David, go ahead and tell it.
Well, I told Preston or Mr. Samurai
either one, it's fine.
The smallest spider that I've seen is around just a little smaller than my palm, just a little bit smaller than that. That's the smallest one I've seen.
No.
And
nope.
Oh man, even for us, they are big notes for us too. But
Yeah, but you guys are badasses out there. You're probably used to everything being big, right? You're probably like, you're like Fred, and you just throw him in the backyard,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, out here, we're like a little black widow or a brown recluse or something. We're like, we're throwing away. So that's a big note for the samurai. No, palm-sized spiders is the smallest. No, that's all right. But I'm sure it's a lovely country out there. And you said the weather is, how is it now? It's kind of raining or it's...
Right now it's actually not that bad.
Pretty nice, yeah. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Right now it's...
But we're in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
So we do get our rainy days.
I'd say that it's around 11 degrees. I don't know if that... You guys use Fahrenheit, right? I'm like, what's that in Fahrenheit?
No, that's perfectly fine. That sounds pretty good.
11 degrees. So it's not too bad. 11 degrees, it's not too bad, yeah.
All right. We got Ryan Golden here. Shout out to Ryan Golden. Is
Hi.
a channel member.
Hello.
That's right.
Hello.
We got Norin Rad saying, what's up, Movie Dojo Army? We got Heather Love in the house, Marco G. Everybody tuning in to watch. And Norin Rad again. Mike Swift, Tyler, Alan. Look at all these people showing up to hang out with us today. So before we get into some of your work a little bit, Therese, and then some of yours, David, and then later, guys, we're going to watch 2 of the shorts. The audio is going to be off. There's subtitles, though. But the audio, for some of them, the subtitles.
Gotta love Hong Kong cinema.
Hey, that's it. This is the channel for that. You know, this is the audience for it. So you guys get to watch it with us. We're going to do a screen share on YouTube. But then they're gonna add their commentary, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, let's before we get into it, Therese, how did you get into what were some of your favorite movies first, and what got you into you know what, I want to start getting into filmmaking, editing, all that stuff.
Well, it's a very long story because I was actually when I was a science nerd when I was in high school, so I kind of started off thinking that I wanted to be a vet and doing all that sort of thing because I was interested in science and doing animals. But I think filmmaking was something that I always also wanted to do when I graduated. But you kind of trying to get the support and people to understand is kind of very, very, very difficult. And I kind of didn't know what I didn't know what I was doing. So I studied science and I did all that because I knew it and I thought it would help me find work. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Right. Because, getting a degree and having stuff on paper is only half the battle. Like if you can't communicate, and that was something that I realized later on, that if you don't have the right personality and you don't know how to have that confidence, then you're not going to get hired no matter what industry you're in. So I think what happened was I took filmmaking seriously when I realized that I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And I just kind of, life is short. Just do it. So I kind of started, I actually did a TAFE or college course in screen and media. I did digital media first because I thought that I might have a better shot at doing, Photoshop and all that things. But then I did a screen course, and then it was just a big few years of me trying to get work into doing internships and just trying to get my foot in the door. Yeah. Which as you can imagine, is not the easiest thing to do, but you kind of just keep going on and seeing what you can do. And I guess I always love action films, and I was actually training in Wushu at the time. So that's Chinese martial arts. So the problem was, so I tried to do some videos with my friends then, but it really wasn't until I met David where he came across, I guess, my profile because I put my socials up there, and he said, "Oh, Wushu," and my first response was, "Holy crap! Someone else who actually knows what Wushu actually is." Yeah, because it's very niche. And then he kind of just talked about what he wanted because he was interested in Wushu. And then he said he wanted to get into stunts, and I'm like, "Nice, oh really?" And then because he had done a short called "Hunt for Hiroshi," which is something that which is basically a ninja short. And
he knows very much. He
and well, hold that thought, Therese. Hold that thought. Yeah. So I didn't know I was already a fan of David.
There it is.
Right there,
I didn't know I was already a fan of David this whole time. I did not know that, but I enjoyed.
With the mask on.
Right. Who is that knucklehead there? Yeah, trying to be a ninja, trying to be like David. I was trying to be like you, man. Trying to be badass. I failed.
Got the sword and everything.
I mean, you all you need is just the other half of the mask.
That's it.
You're close, man. You're really close. You really are close.
Don't hide the hair.
But yeah, I enjoyed this many years ago, but I didn't know I've been a fan of yours the whole time. So it's just kind of funny how life works. We meet up many years later. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But go ahead, Therese.
So basically, I mean, what ended up happening was David told me that he bought a camera, and kind of just clicked and said, "Well, why don't we just start shooting things?" And at this time, I was actually let go from my full-time job, so I was in a position where I was like, okay, I've got nothing to lose at this point, and I've got like no other commitments. I should start doing what is something that I've wanted to have done for years.
Let's go
now.
all in.
Let's go all in. So we kind of started doing like really, really small shorts, and what happened, at least for me, was we did I think it was Road Mic or something. They do like a 1-minute short competition.
Oh, it was Film Right. It was that channel Film Right.
Yeah, Film Right. They do like they do competitions for 1-minute shorts once a year, and the prizes was like, I think, cameras or like really cool Rode like audio equipment. So we decided to enter, and we did this 1-minute short, and he put my name on the credits, and then there was another woman named Maria Tran who saw it, and she's someone that is also an Australian who has been in the film industry for almost as long as David has, maybe a little bit longer.
Oh, all right.
So, and I shall preface this by saying that with the way our industry functions, especially with the action stuff, everybody kind of knows each other because it's just that small. So
like a family.
Almost, it's very small circle.
Effectively, because everybody's connected. Because it's.
But I mean, even at the time, with guys like Jackie and Donnie, even they have said that even Hong Kong industry is very small. And if you watch a lot of those films, you tend to see a lot of the same faces popped up, recycled here and there. And so I guess it's similar case here that our industry is very, very, very small.
Very small. So everybody kind of knows each other, and word and all their reputation, all the spreads. But so what happened was she saw my name, she got in contact and just kept asking me if I was interested in doing editing work, and I was like, hell yes. If it's me in the film industry and all that stuff going, then I'm in it. So you can see she's a girl that you saw in the intro as well that was doing the fight stuff. She's probably one of them. If you know action, you probably know her name. But what that meant was I had incentive to keep going in the industry and basically build Silver Harvest to what it is now. So
I love that name.
That's
great.
Yes.
A little story with the name. I mean, there's not much of a story. I'm sure anybody who's a fan knows what we're going at. But originally, that name was always just an in joke. When we were in early stages, I think Therese, she named the Facebook group Silver Harvest, and we all laughed. Like, we get it.
But then when Platinum Harvest? Come on, no, I'm kidding.
But I mean, Silver has a better. It comes out of the mouth a little bit easier, but than Platinum. But and then when it came time to actually making a channel and naming the actual thing of what we're doing, we just couldn't come up with a better name.
Anything better.
I remember at the time I was like, man, I really don't want to go with Silver Harvest. People are gonna just think, oh yeah, you guys are ripping off, blah blah blah. But then
it's fun.
But then we just couldn't come up with a better name.
You know what? I'm glad we stuck with that.
I like the name.
If I approve, if Samurai approves, it's fine.
It's awesome. That's it. Anybody who says otherwise, I'll just send them your way.
Yeah.
But yes, Therese, you continue.
I won't do any Wushu. Don't worry, I'll collect. But go ahead.
So it's been a pretty interesting journey because I think through my work with Maria and Phoenix, I kind of got thrown into the deep end when it comes to like film production, and I kind of just ended up not only editing but being like a production assistant and doing like call sheets for shoots that were like really tight, so that like each like subsequent like days after other for long hours. And it's like, oh, you need to do the call sheet by tomorrow. I'm like, well, at first I was like, what's a call sheet? And it's like basically getting the list and organizing the crew and props and everything. So it's like, oh my goodness, it was difficult at first, but I think it helped me prepare, especially for our first Silver Harvest story narrative production, which was Dragon of the Law. So that's how that came about. And what also ended up happening is once you start talking about what you do, people that are interested kind of stick around.
Okay.
And we kind of just ended up grabbing more people on board to help us.
Yeah.
And with that said, I kind of did my own scouting as well. So whenever I see someone that's in Australia that kind of has any inclination of being, well, for one thing, a fan of Jackie Chan, a fan of martial arts, I'm like, okay, who is this? I should get to know them. And you kind of have to be very ballsy in this industry, no matter what to get it. So I kind of just told them what I wanted to do, what we wanted to do, which was, well, I guess, be something like what Golden Harvest was back in its prime, like be a an amazing film production company, storytellers, showcase our talent in Australia, because I think that's not something that the world really knows about, which is the Australian industry. I mean, I guess you guys know, Hugh Jackman, Kate Blanchett, Nicole Kidman, but there's more of us actors and filmmakers, especially people that are Asian, Chinese, and to be sure. So that was kind of my impression. And to be, I guess, for those that know them, another martial club. So if you guys know them from but Australians, so something like that. So you get people that are interested, and it kind of just went from there, and they kind of helped us make the shorts and Dragon of the Law to what you guys see.
Hey, so it's networking,
So that's
nothing wrong with that. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's
Dragon of the Law was your first one. It wasn't.
So I mean,
Battle
before that
Brothers.
we did. We kind of did like small fight scenes before then. But in terms of taking script getting the script done, characterization, make costumes and narrative and all the stuff, that was the first official short film production that we did. And it's got a very interesting story, which maybe we can talk about when you start airing. But it was originally meant to be a 2-day shoot.
Okay.
It didn't end up being a 2-day shoot for reasons, and I think one of the reasons was it kind of just grew as we developed that, because this was something that funny. We actually were in the production of Barrel Brothers first, and then this is okay. So to as a disclaimer, this is how our dynamic usually works. He usually comes with David, giving me a phone call, message saying, "Therese, I want to make a short film." I'm like, okay. He's like, "I want to make an 80s short film." He's like, okay, like who with? And then he tells me the idea. So you can kind of see that kind of going in. And even with Battle Brothers, it's like, "I want to play Wong Fei Hong." I'm like, okay. So let's see if I can make that. We can make that happen. So this was in the production of Battle Brothers, and he kind of just let's just try and do something that was fun, really easy to do, and well. And as you will probably see when we talk about it, half of filmmaking is problem solving. So trying to just get all the logistics in order. So it's got an interesting story, actually. But I'll leave it at that. And we can let David talk about how he got into all this mess.
All right, David.
How I got into this mess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll keep it brief. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I don't have like a different crossroads type thing. When I was, I mean, I'm sure like you, Preston, that like I was a kid who grew up watching all of those old school martial art movies. Yeah. And, me as a kid growing up, I didn't really see many faces that looked like me on TV, particularly here in Australia. But that was never a problem for me because my dad would always just play like a Bruce Lee or a Jackie Chan, a Jet Li. And, man, like, I don't know how to explain, it was just like a spell put onto me. I was hooked, I was so, if I can remember, I think my earliest memory, right? I'm sure it's not my first martial arts movie I've seen, but the earliest one that I remember is probably Shaolin Temple, starring Jet Li. That first Shaolin Temple, and I remember just seeing that film, and I was blown away. I was as I said, it was like a spell had been put on to me. Like I was asking my dad if he could shave my head. Luckily, they said no. They said no to that. And of course, Jet Li he would later go on to play the Wong Fei Hong character.
Yeah.
I mean, those movies had a big influence on me because at the time I would go to school asking my parents if they could like tie like a string behind my hair, so that I would look like I would have a cue like he did. Another film that was had a big impression on me was one that not many people know about is One Armed Boxer with Jimmy Wang Yu.
Oh, yeah,
so you know, you know that one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember the next day just going to school with my arm under my shirt, and all the teachers.
Where are the photos?
Oh man, I mean, you know, because the teachers would be like, David, take your arm out of that. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous, you know. I was like, man. Awesome. So, but whenever the teacher wasn't looking, I would just sneak it back in. But yeah, so you know, that was how I got into it. And from then on, I never thought about doing anything else. Obviously, when I got older, I kind of realized, oh no, like yeah, it is a bit harder in Australia because we don't have like a formal stunt school like in Japan. They have that, and even in Korea they have the action school. Right. But in America, you know, I mean that's
you've got guilds and all that.
Yeah, you've got, you know, it's the birthplace. It's one of the biggest stunt meccas in the world. But in Australia, no, there really is no formal stunt school. You know, we have martial arts schools. We have a ton of martial arts schools, but they don't specialize in film and stunt and how to do martial arts for film.
Gotcha.
So, as I got into my teen years, I kind of started discovering another part of cinema. Like I watched Scarface. Yeah. And that had a huge impact on me. Yeah, that had a huge impact on me. And then I discovered, you know, what really kickstarted the idea of filmmaking was Kevin Smith. I'm sure you know who Kevin Smith is, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a guy, right, that was pretty much saying, oh yeah, I'm just a guy from New Jersey, and here I am making movies. And I was like, man, if he can do it, maybe I can try and do it. So then after so then when we were starting to graduate and we were having those career days, right? Like a lot of the teachers would take us on excursions to, you know, try out different careers. Yeah. I just kept talking about filmmaking, and I asked what the career advisor, which one should I go to? And she said, oh, maybe you should try the film school one. And so I went. And kind of by default, really, after high school, I went to film school by default because I was kind of a young kid, and at the time I was like, oh, I don't want to go to film school, you know. I'll just you know, learn film from experience. But my parents, being the Asian immigrants, strict immigrants they were, they're like, no, you're going to school, boy. So, you know, I thought, well, if I'm going to go to school, I might as well go to film school. So I did go to film school for a little while. I would say I learned a lot of great theory at film school. But, you know, the film school that I went to, you know, you can tell that a lot of the people there, they were fresh out of high school. They didn't really know where to go, and they were just saying, "Oh, you know, maybe I can get some easy credit here, and I'll go to film school." And they didn't even want to make. And the people who did want to go there, they didn't even want to make action movie or like anything that was remotely exciting. They were the typical artsy, black and white, you know, smoke effect. Yeah, just depressive film, and I just so you know, and so you know, I kind of it was a 3-year course. I only did 2 years, so I dropped out. And when I went, and then we went off and we made Hunt for Hiroshi. That took a while, and then
was that the first thing you did? Major things you did.
Yeah, one of the more major things. Like before that, we had made like little like parkour videos, some little montages here and there. Yeah. You know, things like that. So we had done a little bit of things here and there, but in terms of like a big narrative and playing characterizations and a whole script and a set and A to B type thing. Yeah, Hunt for Hiroshi was one of the bigger things. Was the big first thing that we did, and you know, and then after that,
then some knucklehead reviewed it. You know.
And then knucklehead said amazing things about it. You know, I was so glad that people were actually talking. I mean, you know, we can get into Hanko Hiroshi a bit later, but then a couple of years have passed by, and then I met up with Therese because she was, I was surprised to see another person who knows what Wushu is in Sydney, because every time I would tell people that I do Wushu, they would all look at me blank, right? But then here's a person who knows. I'm surprised, right? I am so surprised. Like, I thought everyone knows who Jet Li is.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and Donnie.
So I'm like, and Donnie, right? So I'm like, man, how does people not know what Wushu is? But and then Therese just started kind of expressing an interest in the camera, right? And one of the hardest things in filmmaking is just getting people who are interested or committed.
Right.
You know, I think Therese mentioned a little bit earlier, but you know, a lot of the people that we use, they're not really you would call industry professionals per se, but they're pretty much just our friends. A lot of our friends, people who've expressed interest in getting that and getting into the field.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and as I explained before, right, like stunt. There really is no formal stunt school here,
right.
And there's no way for you to learn. I mean, we do have some stunt gyms, but they specialize in like falls, some falls,
car driving. So
car driving,
it's a very, very, very broad term, and
so it's not like fight choreography, you know, and type thing.
It's a different.
Oh man, don't even like I wanted to do Hong Kong style action scene,
like wire work. There's none of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you know, a lot of the people that I use in the videos, they're just fellow martial art friends, and they you know, and sometimes I'll have to go through the how to sell the fighting on the film,
right?
And so it's like a lot of the people that we've been using, a lot of our friends and some family members, sometimes out of their own will, you know.
Yeah.
We promised them, you know, it'll only take a day, and then a week goes by.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, so they may not have the industry credits, but they have the natural talent and the passion already there. And what makes them different is that they're the one they stick around, no matter how many times I shout or no matter how many times I take advantage of them. They stick around, you know. That's the key there, you know. Is that trying to find someone who sticks around, because you can't make a film without a camera person, right? If Therese had left a day later, like there would be no video, no nothing.
Yeah.
If my friend had said, man, I don't want to wake up at 6 and do your bullshit, well, you know, there would be no fight scene, right? So,
right.
So the key really is, trying to find people who stick around.
The right crew, the right people.
People that are passionate. Doesn't matter if they're friends, as long as they're passionate. And you said skilled, right?
Exactly.
Could you imagine somebody who doesn't know any martial arts and you could we'll find something for you to do, but no fighting.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though, man.
That's how. I mean, that's how.
Is the goal? I mean, I know the goal is to still, you know, increase your filmmaking skills and repertoire and do bigger and better things, because I'm sure you guys are already on your way, and I'm excited to see what you guys make in the future. But is it one of the goals is try to create a martial club out there in the future?
I mean, here's the wanky answer that everyone likes to go to, right? Like, you know, I don't want to be the next Jackie Chan. I want to be the first blah blah blah, right?
Right.
But I mean that does ring true, you know. We love Martial Club, you know. Those guys do amazing work, and they are really the ones who are the first guys to have been like, whoa, we can't afford, you know, this and that, but we can afford this and this, and we do have this new platform now called YouTube, and they're the ones that are just kind of pioneering that. So we can't do what they do, because they're martial club. So in a sense, do we want to like achieve the amount of quality they have? Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, for me personally, I kind of want to go in a slightly different direction.
Okay.
Than the martial club boys. In a sense that we also want to tell stories as well.
Yeah,
and
I think that's something that
and
we want to be like
still,
them, but we will set ourselves apart too. So
and we also want to kind of still tell stories with the martial arts and all that stuff, but also tell different types of stories that are still visually exciting for us.
Right. That's awesome. I love that. I love to hear that. I think that's great. I think that's perfect, right? There's nothing wrong with being inspired, but then doing your own thing, right? That's all that matters, as long as you're doing your own thing. But let's keep it rocking and rolling here. So how long have you taken Wushu, David? Or both of you? How long have you been taking it?
Well, I formally started in, I say 2012. That's when I formally started.
Okay.
Before then, I was doing like my own. I was tricking, self-taught. I was copying Wu Jing and Jet Li as best as I can, stuff like that. So I had I had quite a bit of a background before. But formally I really started.
2012.
All right. 2012. Taking seriously.
What about you, Therese?
So I actually let's see. Martial arts, I actually started in Taekwondo, I think, when I was around as a teenager. And I started Wushu when, I think, around 2012, 2013. But then in 2017, I got diagnosed with arthritis in the hips. So I kind of just have to do it a little bit differently now. So I still try to take care of my body as much as I can, but trying to get my flexibility to where it used to be is not easy. But with that said, I still love doing fight stuff, so I try to actually still do that no matter what. But
are you going to be doing more fight scenes in future projects? I know you're mostly behind the camera, but
funny story is, like, I started behind the camera, and then it wasn't really until recently that I wanted to be more in front and try acting as well. So I did do a sort of small fight scene recently, and we were just about to finish when, for one, COVID happened, and one of the cast got injured. So it's like, okay, so we're just gonna have to put a pause on that. So it's something that I want to do, but once it's done, you guys will be able to see it's a lot of fun. But I guess
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I guess I kind of take the perception, if you can't use your legs, use your arms.
There you go. That's it. That's
it. And the great thing about Therese too is that I don't really trust a lot of people behind the camera. Unfortunately, I can't be behind the camera because I'm usually doing the fights, right? And whenever I can, I always try to take over. But with Therese, because she understands movement, she understands what we're trying to go for. She understands rhythm and all that stuff. She knows how to capture fighting for film.
Nice.
Whereas,
with that said, that's after years of being yelled at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, we need that now, though. We need that now.
Yeah.
Bad. I remember in watching like Hong Kong Legends, that DVD, and there was always those Baylogan commentaries. He said one thing where back in the old days, the problem was that the talent in front of the camera, they were incredible, right? I mean, a lot of them had come from a generation of peking opera training. Yeah. And as we all know, peking opera training was pretty much, it was like military school.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why that era had all those amazing talent and films and stunt work, because we had a boom of just these
Seven Little Fortunes.
Seven Little Fortunes.
That's exactly it.
Because at the time, right, like peking opera was dying, but then cinema was coming back. I mean, I'm sure Rick Myers has talked a lot about this. And but at the time, even though we had all this talent, the technology wasn't quite there yet. The cameras were just these massive things that required all this stuff to just even hold. So if you wanted to even move the camera, you had to put it on this massive rig, and the cameramen if they wanted to catch up with the talent, they really had to go for it, right? But
right.
Nowadays, the camera is as small as this, you know, and it's like, but you know, I once had a friend climb a tree just to get an angle. That's how easy it was.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we don't have the same amount of talent to try and utilize the convenience.
Well, maybe it's not so much as care and focus on what's important in terms of what makes the fight scene work. Because I just can't help it. Yeah, so I can't just think of, you know, the most recent Mortal Kombat movie. And I'm like, you guys have someone from the Jackie Chan stunt team. You guys have someone who was on the raid. And then you look at what was on screen, and I'm like, what happened?
Well, even worse recently with Snake Eyes.
Right.
I was seeing, and it's like, the sad thing is, I've seen the trailer for that, and it's like, Henry Golding actually looked really good in the trailer, and I'm like,
they worked their asses off. In my review, I show footage of them, you know, and it's like in the camera work of them training is better than the camera work and editing in the movie.
I know. So it's like, sad. So I know, it just makes you sad. So it's like, I mean, as for now, I think it's independent is more the way to go. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the movie. Nobody Gives Me Hope.
Well, I mean, my theory as to why that happens is that because in those big budget movies, you have so many, because films like Nobody and John Wick, they're still somewhat independent in a sense that a lot of the design of the action or design of the visuals is put to just one or two people. Like the director of the John Wick movies is everyone knows that he's like an ex stuntman, so he understands what's required. Mm-hmm. Whereas in those big budget movies, you have so many layers of people touching the film. So maybe you'll film this amazing fight sequence, but then you take that and you give it to the editor. Yep. And then the editor he or she had no say in the fights, had no say in the rehearsals, no say in the camera. So then they'll just find whatever angle looks great and cut it up and try and use as much footage as they can and then mash it together. And it's like, you know, the importance of like also knowing how to edit, knowing how to shoot, knowing. Yeah. I mean, editing is definitely the make or break of a fight scene. You know, like, oh man. Like,
I
think that's one of the reasons why JC was such a control freak back in the day, because he would edit his own stuff.
But sorry, you were saying, Preston?
No, I was just saying, you know, you can have the greatest martial artist in the world, the greatest stunt team in the world, the greatest director in the world, and they work their asses off for hours to do this. It could be this fight took 4 days. It took a week to do the one fight. That's how badass that fight is. It took so long, and then it doesn't matter if the editor just like, I'm just going to snip that. I'm gonna take that and,
so many cuts.
Whereas it's just, in a lot of those indies,
frustrating.
Like John Wick and Nobody and I guess The Raid and all those indie stuff, nobody else is touching the cut other than the director or the fight designer. You know, the hands-on, because they you know, I think Isaac Florentine, he once said in an interview that when he went to Hollywood, the way they shot was like, you get a master and then you get all these different angles of this and this. And he goes, okay, but why can't I just focus on one really good angle? Yeah. Because a lot of that stuff I'm not going to be using anyway. Yeah. And hence why, if you look at Isaac's stuff when he's doing indie stuff, it looks great, right?
For the Snake Eyes review, I used a clip of Scott Adkins versus Ken Kasugi from Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear. So I was just like, look, this fight scene here is better than this whole movie. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't mean to like to shill here, but you know, Samurai is always honest. But fighting in this movie and the fight in this short film here, Hunt for Hiroshi, it's filmed better, and the editing is better than Snake Eyes. I mean, come on, people. Come on, what are we doing? You get all these billions
and
of
on a
dollars.
much smaller budget.
Yeah.
As I said, it's just too many hands, too many hands touching the cake, and it's just, it makes a big mess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. But let's I want to just kind of quickly go through Therese's work, and then you go through your work, David, and then we'll go to the short films, have some fun with that, because I want to hear your commentary on that.
Yeah.
So, Therese, this one right here is one of the first. This in terms of editing.
Oh yeah. So this was So this is one of the editing, and it was one of the first times I actually knew that in where I live there's actually a theater, like a whole theater space where you can have lights and a performance. And it's like this is something like what I live 15 minutes away. I had no idea, but so it's basically a guy who's an actor. He was a good friend of mine, and he's just one of the things that I did. And wow, it's been too long.
Was this like your first real big editing gig?
Well, one of the major things, I guess aside from narrative, because as far as paid work, I usually do a lot of event coverage.
Yeah.
For councils and training videos for like organizations and companies as well. So I guess this was a lot more fun to narrative and all that stuff is usually always a lot more fun to do. And so this was cool. It's humor. I get to play music and all that stuff.
So he's an actor. What was it about?
Yeah, he's an actor, and he's basically got on Audition, and well, it turns out he's kind of using the audition process because he's one looking for as an excuse to find a girl.
As you do.
So like you can
crazier means have happened. So yes.
So so that was a lot of fun.
This one here, was this like a horror thriller?
Oh yes. So this is one of the most horrors that I was actually. I think this was one of the first times that I actually held a slate.
Okay.
So and I actually found out what a slate was. So I was the girl if you ever see the behind the scenes, I was doing this. So this is also in the PYT. So that was cool. It was submitted into like what was it? It's a film festival where they have a word for every theme, and the theme for that year was roses. So it kind of was going to that. So that was a lot of fun. I was more so the editor and the production assistant.
Okay, cool.
So it was a lot.
Was that like a horror thriller? What was that?
Yeah, it was. So
nice.
Basically, it's also a character who wants to be an actress.
Okay.
And she basically finds out that she's not alone.
Okay.
And it's kind of that place with Groundhog Day, because she kind of wakes up from what is a nightmare, but is it really a nightmare or is it really happening? It's kind of
I put David above me so that way he's not covered. His face isn't covered.
So that was cool. So
this one right here, was this a series here?
Yeah.
There you are on the right. That's you right there, right? That's you on the right side, right?
Yeah, that's her. That's her. Yeah,
that's me. So that's, I guess, if anything, that would be my first acting experience. So luckily, I played the straight woman. So this is called My Big Planet. This was also shot in 2 days in the theater space. And so My Big is the central character, and she also wants to get into actress in her own way. So I'm trying to think of the equivalent character, because we have a character back in the day called Effie. And she was like a very famous character out here. I don't know.
I'd say it's almost kind of like, it's like The Office. A lot of because it's very mockumentary style, and it revolves around a main character who's not quite self-aware.
Okay. That already sounds hilarious already.
Yeah. So she wants to get to Hollywood, no matter what it takes. And I kind of ended up being roped as her unpaid intern. So I kind of play the straight man that kind of just tries to make sense out of the situation, which is obviously doesn't come easy. Interesting story. Yeah, David was also a part of this holding the camera for
I did some photography work, like
nice.
So that was fun. So I got to do some acting, which luckily it was a straight person, so that's kind of one of the easiest characters for me to play, and I kind of want to expand later on since. But that was a lot of fun, just because her character is kind of very, very extreme.
Right.
It's always easy when you especially when you have actors that when they have a character they commit and they kind of commit 100%. So she did all that. So yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
All right, let's keep it moving here. What about this
Oh,
breath?
God.
Oh no.
Oh, God, yeah.
David Vuong in Breath.
Oh, man. Yeah. How did you find this? Oh, man.
I have my ways.
Wow. So that's got an interesting backstory. So this, as far as corporate work is concerned, we kind of got connected to an anti-smoking campaign for an organization. And I don't know how my friend Maria Tran, director friend, did it, but she was able to convince them that a narrative web series was the way to do it. So this campaign was an anti-smoking campaign aimed at the Chinese, Vietnamese, and the Arabic community.
Okay.
So David's story was because David is trilingual. He can speak Vietnamese and Chinese. He was kind of roped in to do the story of Kenny for the Chinese one. And honestly, his episode
they said David show up at this location this time and this. I was like, okay. And then I came and said, so what am I doing? Oh yeah, you're playing blah 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 blah. I was like, what? Yeah, so it was very
surprise. So you kind of played a character who's So this is a web series, so 3-part series. So his story, which is kind of one of the most interesting, is he's a baker or like he works in like
I think it was a chef.
Yeah, chef. So he smokes, and inevitably he caused his grandmother to get sick through secondhand smoke. So it's implied, and it kind of spurs him because the story of this web series starts with anti-smoking. Like, if you can think of AA meetings, you can. This is one thing for anti-smokers.
Okay. Hey, David, you're just broadening your acting roles. That's
yeah.
Look at it that way, man. It's fine.
Yes.
This one I'm interested in. This one looks interesting.
Yes. Okay. So this is an interesting one. So this is Maria Tran's story. Basically trying to talk about her experiences as acting during the time of COVID, but also how she's connected to her mother. So it's a very so her mother was a refugee, and her mother's pretty badass because she tried to escape Vietnam after World War 7 times, like 6 or 7 times, and she was jailed like for 6 times.
Oh, man.
And then eventually was able to come to Australia by boat. And as you can imagine, it's kind of for this it was kind of a tribute to what her mother went through and the fact that she
cool.
So she went through strange. And this was actually it was part of a film festival that we had in Western Sydney. So it was and it's gotten I think a few awards for best editing.
Nice.
Or something like that, or best directing, I think, as well. So so
awesome.
This one I co-edited, so it was a very interesting process having people that were much more further into the industry than I was, than I am, to give me direction and guidance on how I should best edit in terms of pacing and everything. And music. So that was a very cool
awesome.
experience.
It sounds cool. Yeah. Now this looks like fun.
Yes. So this is something that will actually air very very soon, so probably in the next week or so. But this was shot right practically before the second wave of COVID hit in Australia. So this was a campaign that came about through I guess this grant that there was around in New South Wales in our area called I Am Not a Virus. So it was in response to the Asian hate crimes that kind of people saying were happening, and how Asian Americans and I guess Asian Australians by extension were targeted as well. So she made this. So Maria Tran made this story, and it's kind of a Vienna of few experiences, but also set in the 80s setting. So you can see her with the 80s gear, and I can't. This was one of the few times. In this instance, I helped out with the editing production, but I also helped out with the fight choreography.
Nice.
As well at this point. So that was a lot of fun. But
I think my favorite is there's no age to ass kicking.
That is a good one.
That is true. That is true. So props to her for doing all designing. So I'm glad to actually see it done, because it with once COVID hit, like it kind of just grown things to a halt. But all the editing is done, and
Right.
now it will air. So I'm glad, and I think a lot of people had a lot of fun with it too. But it was pretty intense. So all you see for the 14 minutes was done in 2 days. 2 days
wow.
hours worth of
Look at
shooting.
that.
So yeah, if you mirror, you know that when she does things quick.
Right.
She that's just kind of her method.
Is this
So,
something that's still coming out?
Yes. So interesting. So yes, and yes, I don't know if you found the one with David on there too, but there is.
Man,
there
you really dark, man. You really dark. Wow. Almost.
That's the profile shot right there.
Wow. God.
Yeah, if you ever see him on Tinder, it'll probably be using.
Is that something coming out?
Finally, so this was shot. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. Beginning at the end of. God.
Is that you holding
at the end of 20?
No, I think that's someone else. That might be.
Yeah, because that's not my watch. But that's okay. Right. I was a production assistant for this one, but yeah, this was a feature that we started filming at the end of in the summer of 2020, I think.
2019?
2019. Well, the first, we initially started it in 2019, and then we took a break because of COVID and also trying to get all things done. So we actually finished it on 2020, just recently, like earlier this year. So we just finished editing. So it was pretty much just waiting because we've got some international connections on this, I think. So we're kind of waiting for them to send over the footage. So there's a few fight scenes, and so he David
man.
He's
all shy. He's all Wushu badass director, and he's all shy over here. Look at
this asshole again. You know what I mean? I've had enough of that asshole.
So this story basically Maria Tran is the main lead, and she plays Echo 8. So she's an assassin that tries to figure out her past.
Nice.
And how she came to get there. And Delta 1 is her partner, who wants it to be more than that. He tries.
Yeah.
With that pose right
this dumbass,
Yeah.
This one right here, is this like a sci-fi thriller?
Yeah, so this is a sci-fi science fiction fight sequence thing too that I kind of helped out with the production. So this guy is Takashi Hara. He's also a Wushu martial artist. He also does Japanese martial arts as well. And he was the one this is kind of one of his first directorial things. So this is going to be exciting when it finally releases. So yeah, this was a lot of fun, but it was intense because we kind of had So yeah, shout out to you guys, Dion, Vuong, and John Wongsu. So yeah, you might see them check it out on Project Steamboat Shang-Chi. Look out for those faces because you might see them there when that movie releases.
All right.
So yeah,
I'm already sold. This looks like fun already. They got weapons. They're ready to go.
Goons. So there is kind of yes. So how those characters are connected is a very interesting one indeed. So we kind of shot that a couple of months ago, actually around May. So this was part of a series called Cyber Connect. So Cyber Connect was basically a workshop series to help build, get people in our area, Western Sydney, skilled up in filmmaking and pitching as well. And that's something that I'm always passionate about because what you have to be able to communicate what you're doing to get money, to get investors and people potentially interested in what you're doing, and also just to get people excited about what you're doing and to get your work out there. So that was one of them. And yeah, on that note, you're gonna see my one too. So I directed recently a comedy show called Center Stage. So you might see his so Takashi Hara he stars in that too. So that's all part of a series that that's going to launch actually the 6th of August. I think that was it's part of a film series. The films themselves aren't connected to each other. Aside from the fact that they're all either the story or the actors or the creators are connected to the Western Sydney region.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically help build out and support people here that are interested in getting into filmmaking.
Sci-fi action, let's go. I'm there.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, shit. Let's get back to the ninja, son.
Oh, man.
Let's get back to some badassity here.
Who's that?
Who's this guy behind the fucking mask? I guess that's my cue, huh?
Look at that shot right
Take it
there.
away.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Official selection Holly Shorts Film Festival 2017. Check that out. Pretty awesome. Go ahead, David. Let's talk a little bit about
with the Hunt for Hiroshi. Yeah, so man, Hunt for Hiroshi. Where do I begin with that? That was a very like all projects or a lot of short films, they tend to become bigger than what they are. So originally, Hunt for Hiroshi was never meant to be like a big short film.
Yeah.
It was just meant to be a fight scene between a ninja and a SWAT guy, and it was pretty much meant to serve as like a proof of concept for a feature film, which, as you would know, would be called Circle of Ninja. But then, as time went on and as we kind of grew as people, Sam, the director, Sam Gosper, he started, saying, "Oh man, I wanna add Hiroshi into the short film, but maybe we don't see Hiroshi, maybe we just see his mouth." And then he was like, "You know what? Fuck it, let's just see Hiroshi. Let's show the power of Hiroshi and all that stuff." So as time went on, the damn thing started growing and growing and growing,
Yeah.
and that's why it kind of took so long to release, because we started production on that 2012. And,
oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was a long.
This right here.
Yeah,
2012. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit embarrassed to admit.
No, you can imagine baby David.
That's why I put a fucking mask on. Yeah.
Wow.
But
how long did it take to do the fight choreography in between you two?
So let's see. I say we probably did a previous rehearsal for like a week, and the fight itself probably took maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks, on and off, because when we started shooting the fight, there were certain ideas that weren't working, because when you're in previs, you're in a theater, like just a simple 4-room wall.
Yeah.
And when you're on the actual location, you start to Sam, like for example, he wanted to at times utilize the very Jackie Chan-esque, he wanted to utilize the environment and things like that. So we kind of had to go back to the drawing board at times. But yeah, I'd say, probably 3 weeks altogether.
Yeah.
And then, here's another funny thing, is that the end sequence with the traffic, when the ninja runs with the cars,
right?
That was never meant to be in the film. That was another late addition. We were like, man, what if we get the ninja to run around the streets of Sydney, right? And we'd never seen that before, right? Like, you've never seen a ninja in traffic, right? So
I hope you have this picture like in your house somewhere, because it's like.
Yeah, I think I do somewhere, but
next to this picture.
Nobody would want to print one for me, So unfortunately, I don't have it. Even I don't have these things, man. The only thing I kept from that film, I think, is the mask, which is probably
nice.
It's somewhere. Yeah. But it's not even a great mask.
Use it for a future short or film.
Yeah.
Throw it in there, man. Yeah, throw it in there.
Man, I want that suit though. I don't know where that suit is. I think Sam has it. I think it's in his closet. The director. That suit. I think the real prize is that suit. I think the real prize is that fucking suit. But what is it? And so at the time, Sam was also talking to a couple of VFX artists, and they were talking to him about what they could achieve based on the resources we had. And so Sam was thinking, okay, yeah, maybe we can do this. Maybe we can, because obviously we couldn't go on the actual traffic and film there.
Could you imagine?
Oh, I mean,
people driving, they're like seeing a ninja running around. They're like,
there's a funny there's a funny thing about that, because there is some footage.
We got ninjas.
Yeah. There were some bits where I actually had to run
quickly across
at night in front of like actual pedestrians and people crossing. And I think Sam actually uploaded a behind the scenes on that.
Yeah.
If you go to that channel. And yeah, man, it was really funny seeing people react to
Did
me in
anybody say
costume.
anything?
Some people ran. One guy ran for his life. You know, one guy really, like, he left his friend, man. He left his friend and he bounced. He saw me and he just bounced, man.
Is that on the footage? Is that behind the scenes footage?
Yeah, that's
Oh
in
my
the footage.
god, I have to see this.
There's a guy running for his
That is
life.
hilarious. Oh my god.
Some
Should
people
have left that in
came
the
up.
movie.
Yeah. Some people came up and took some pictures.
Oh, man,
One guy, he had a skateboard and he wanted to take a picture of me on the skateboard in costume. So that was that. There was a couple of those ones.
Oh, what fun.
Yeah. So again, that end sequence, even though was achievable, took a lot of time, mainly the post-production side, because there's a lot of assets that we had to VFX in and all that stuff.
Right.
We did try to film as much of it on location as possible.
Yeah.
But of course, there are certain elements like, the jump on the car and stuff. Like, there's no way we could have gotten away with that without the proper permits and stuff.
Yeah.
So
how'd you feel?
Again,
How'd you feel to be a ninja on screen, man?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, man. The first couple of days, I felt pretty ridiculous. I was like, here I am as a guy, normal human being, just dressed in this crazy costume while everyone else is walking about normally. I felt so ridiculous those first couple of nights.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't until later on when I started getting warm into the costume when I felt, this is good. And then when people started reacting, I was like, this is kind of fun. I thought it was great. It was really great.
Didn't you guys get stopped by the police once, or something like that?
Got stopped by the police a couple of times. Yeah, we've had a couple of funny encounters with the police.
Walkie-talkie. I just saw a ninja.
Yeah,
running around. Shut up, Phil. You're making stuff.
Man, that's just a testament to as how much excitement happens here. It's like nothing like this happens for them, But and then eventually, finally, after such a long, arduous process, we I don't know how much you want me to get into Han for Hiroshi right now. But
sure, we're talking about it now. Let's keep going.
Sure. So
and then after that we'll go to the short films.
Yeah. So with that film, we released it finally. During the time, Sam, when I would go to Sam's place, he would show me like progress of a final cut of a cut. Then he would show the next week. He would show me a score, a demo of the score, color grading, sound effects. And each time when he would show me those developments, I was so excited. I thought, man, people are gonna be so blown when this movie comes out.
Right.
This is gonna be something big. We believed that we were making something really special here, and something big. And so, and then obviously a lot of our friends, they kept hearing about it, like yeah, whatever, man, all right. And we're like, man, just wait, you guys wait until you see it.
Yeah.
And so eventually when we finally released it onto the YouTube, excuse me, it was kind of anticlimactic, like we had felt like, wow, man, like we made this really cool film, but nobody cares about it. And then it wasn't until people like you started talking about it and then as time went on, as time went on, it started slowly gaining its audience.
Right.
So now it's got a pretty good solid audience.
Nice. Good.
Thing. And at the time we were so bummed out. Yeah, we were so bummed, and we were hoping that this film would be like a ticket to a feature film.
Right.
And we were trying to shop around the short film. We were shopping it around as best as we can. Yeah. No one just seemed interested. And the people that did seem interested just didn't have the resources that we wanted. We required to make the feature.
Right.
So we were kind of bummed at the time.
Yeah, I got you.
And so we kind of just, you know, went our own way for a little while. Like we didn't totally give up on the thing, but we just went our own little way. And then I think that's when I met Therese and stuff. But in terms of Circle of Ninja, I think here's what I'll say about Circle of Ninja is that it's not completely out of the water. Like it's on the shelf, but it's leaning out, it's tipping out of the shelf. So every time we do walk past the shelf, we see it. We do see it. Yeah. We do acknowledge that. Yeah, we need to make that. Yeah. And so, but in terms of hearing any kind of updates anytime soon, it's probably unlikely. Mainly because you know Sam himself, he is kind of busy with his own thing for now. Right now, he's got a business he's trying to run. Okay. I've been a little bit busy with the Silver Harvest stuff as well.
Yeah.
But again, you know, we're definitely not saying, you know, you never say never, right? So
yeah.
And I'm very open to doing a continuation of the of that story. Yeah. We did talk about, you know, different possibilities. So okay, well, if no one's going to give us the money for a feature film, maybe we should try and like either budget it so that it's possible for to make it so with the resources we do have, or we just make similar to what we did for Hunt for Hiroshi, is that make it episodically. So
I was gonna say that might be a good idea too, man.
So yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, in whatever form, I would love to do episodic type continuation of the story. You know, I think that's the main way to go these days.
Yeah.
And also, I loved that character. You know, I loved that ninja character.
And you still got the mask.
Yeah, still got the mask, and I think Sam still has the suit.
There you go.
Know, he's still got the suit. So you know, I mean, at the time, I worked really hard on that character. You know, I went. I studied Japanese. You know, I really went into character during that time, and again, as I mentioned before, you know, I'm very open to doing a continuation, and Sam is as well. It's just a matter of timing and a matter of trying to kind of figuring out, well, how do we do it with what we have now, type thing.
Hey,
so
I have faith.
Yeah.
I have faith.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Like you said, he's doing this thing temporarily. You're doing you're kicking ass with Silver Harvest, right? And then eventually you'll do a web series or a movie.
Or a low budget movie. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, I guess.
Do you want me to be honest right now? You want me to be honest?
Yeah, be honest.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. So this here, there is more quality in this short film than I've seen full-fledged, long feature-length movies.
Right.
That look like, you know, they look like it was $2 to make, right? You'll see tons of movies like that released on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, man.
Everyone to watch. So all I'm saying is, I'm sure. You know, like I said, there's quality here. You know, and even like I said, even the short films. If you do short films or if you do web series, it's still going to be better than the $2 picture full length feature movies that are on Amazon Prime. Okay, but like I said, I just want to use that, put that as look. I can speak English, right? All I want to do is put that in perspective. Blah blah blah. You know that, you know, like again, there's quality here. So either way,
thank you.
You win. You know why?
You
win. You get the movie made or you finish it, you win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get the web series done in the future, you win.
You know,
you're gonna win, my friend.
I'm so glad you said that, because for a little while I did think about, well, I didn't know if Circle of Ninja or whatever form it takes could exist in today's world. Mainly because if you watch Hunt for Hiroshi, now Sam is obviously Sam Gosper, my friend. He's obviously not Japanese. He's a Australian-born Lebanese person, but he doesn't speak a lick of Lebanese. He's a very interesting character. But he, like you and me, grew up watching a bunch of, you know, these martial art movies. Mm-hmm. So when you watch Hunt for Hiroshi, you can kind of see that it's being told from a very Western lens, in a sense that, yeah, there are certain mannerisms aren't authentically Japanese, or certain, behaviors aren't, obviously very, like the SWAT guy, right? Like there are certain elements of the SWAT person who's not accurately SWAT. Like he's a movie SWAT guy.
Yeah.
Movie SWAT. So, I didn't know, whereas today, in nowadays, well, people kind of want to lean towards something that's more realistic, something that's a bit more, authentic, something that isn't quite 80s influenced, if that makes sense. Because in the 80s, you can almost get away with anything,
80s is camp.
And Hunt for Hiroshi does have that tiny, even if it's tiny, that tiny 80s camp there. Because Sam, like the rest of us, did grow up in a lot of those 80s action films. I mean, Van Damme, right? Like he wasn't known for his best acting, but people didn't care at the time. Van Damme, his physicality was amazing, and
Revenge of the Ninja is a good example. You got two ninjas on top of a building fighting in the daytime, so everyone could see in the city, and it was awesome, right? Nobody cares. It was awesome.
So
which way would you think you would go? Would you go more realistic, or would you keep it 80s, or would you do a mixture?
I would do maybe like a 90-10%, so 90% realistic, but with some of the 80s influence as well. Because again, at the end of the day, you are making a movie, and it's a piece of entertainment, and the reason why people go to watch movies, or you want to watch a movie, is so that you can somewhat escape reality. For a little bit. Right. So, Alfred Hitchcock said one of the best quotes, I think, is that film is life with all the boring bits cut out. So, and yeah, right. So, and so if we were
unless
to go
it's Snake Eyes, then I actually saw a review for Snake Eyes. I saw like a thumbnail review, and on the thumbnail it said, "I didn't know ninjas could be boring."
I really wanted to try and avoid naming names here, but man, I mentioned this to you during our Facebook chat, is that I really got a good kick out of your Immovable Heart review. That was just because here's the thing, right? Sam actually got in contact with that guy because he's a fellow Australian, and he's also making a ninja movie in Australia. So Sam was like,
quite a few actually.
Because we were like, man, what is this? We just couldn't believe what we were seeing. And Sam was like, you know what? Let's see what the guy has to say. Let's talk to him first.
Okay.
And so got into contact with him, and he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
He was saying, I'm ninja, and I want to be. He was critiquing us, saying, some of the flips in your film wouldn't be ninja accurate and all that stuff. And we were like, okay, we know where he's coming from now. But I got so much. But when at the time when I heard about that movie, I went to I don't know if our local electronic store. Over here we call it JB Hi-Fi. I don't know if you guys have something. I think over there the equivalent would be like a Radio Shack or something.
Yeah. Well, those are kind of dead here too. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know.
We have and so I was looking at the DVD section, the movie section, and what do I see? I see fucking Ninja Immovable Heart and the name Danny Glover on the DVD. I'm like, man, how is this guy getting his movie sold in fucking a big chain Australian retail store?
Yeah.
And I thought I was going crazy at the time. I thought, man, maybe it's just me. Like, maybe everyone kind of likes this. And then I saw your review, and the whole world kind of just made sense again. Like, I love the part where you were like, the part where you said, okay, you have those critiques like, for now, let's talk about the good or something, the good or the badass.
The badass.
The badass. Now, let's go for the good. And you were like, the only thing good about this movie is the poster or something.
True.
Because I was so scared you were gonna go in to say let's let's be fair. The good thing about this movie is so and so. It's one of those movies that it's so bad, it's so good. You know, The Room, blah blah blah.
Right.
But no, you were like, the only good thing in this movie is the poster. And then you went to the band. Oh man, did I have such a that video really tickles me, man. I really.
That was one of my better reviews on here, man. Back in the day,
Ninja
just, the Immovable Heart, the greatest ninja film ever.
Man,
I'm glad I made you laugh.
And it's like, man, Danny Glover is in this, and I was like, wow. And I agree with you too that I thought the old guy was probably the best actor in that film, and he was utilized to shit, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see that Danny Glover is trying his best, but goddamn,
sitting down, he's
sit
down and get paid.
And to be, I mean, and to be fair, you know, you can tell that Danny Glover was just an afterthought. You can tell.
Oh yeah,
easily tell. But
it's a paycheck movie for him. We get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, come on, man, you can't even deliver on at least the action part.
Yeah, but
come on. But anyway,
you know, but. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, I'm glad that you made Hunt for Hiroshi.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And
I'm glad that it's found its audience now. I'm happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just know that it's not completely dead in the water. It's definitely not completely dead in the water yet. So it's still something we're thinking about.
I'm gonna keep bugging you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Every month, I'm gonna send you an email.
Oh man, we should make that fucking ninja movie, man. Hurry up.
Movie, huh? Fight scene for Therese in there, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm there. You know, Samurai's there.
Right. Yeah.
So now let's get into some short films here. So
yes.
What was the idea? I mean, despite this is obviously homage to Shaw Brothers Studios, and we love Shaw Brothers, huge fans here on the channel. And despite the homage, and despite, you know, who doesn't want to play Wong Fei Hong at this point, right? I mean, that's the iconic character, right? Was there any other inspirations?
You know, man, Therese, you know, I mean, yeah, sure. You know, the inspiration didn't come from, hey, I want to play Wong Fei Hong, let's make a short film around that.
Yeah.
No, it was more like, you know, I had the original idea was just, hey, let's get these two guys who are like brothers, right? And let's get them to fight. Like, yeah, totally original, right? Yeah, totally. But,
I'm sold.
You know, the original idea was it would be like in the modern day, and then these two would have like a bit of a banter while they're fighting, but they're using like traditional martial art moves as their banter too. Like one brother will say, "Hey, where'd you learn that tiger claw from?" And the other brother would say something witty like, you know, "Remember that girl from the crane school? Well, you know, I spent a night with them." Yeah, you know, it's like, ugh. And then the other guy would be like, "Ugh," you know, how could you? You know, so like I wanted to, you know, that was the original idea, trying to mix like traditional martial arts in the modern day with a bit of hip hop banter type thing.
Yeah.
But then time went on, and then I was like, well, you know what? I really love the Martial Club short, Drunken Dance of the Drunken Gods. I'm sure which you've seen, right? Because I thought, man, that those guys, they did such a good job at paying respect to that era of martial art film. From not just the visual aesthetic, but the technique, the choreography, the timing as well.
Shapes.
You know, the shape. Yeah, it was as what we call it now, the shapes. They just hit it perfect each time, and I always thought, man, I really want to make one like this. It's just, unfortunately, here in Australia, as I said before, Wushu isn't known, and it's very niche, and so there's not a lot of people here who know how to do traditional martial art, and so it's very hard to get someone to perform those traditional shapes, because they don't have. I mean, over here we have a lot of like karate, taekwondo,
right?
You know, judo, jiu-jitsu, but you know, those aren't those. We needed someone who knows like wushu, hunga, or crane style.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, so that they know, they understand the shapes.
You can't have Wong Fei Hong doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, right. You know,
that'd be kind of weird, right?
You know, but you know, and then we met up. We had a friend called Andy, and he was also another wushu person.
Nice.
His name is Andy True.
Okay.
And he was very up for doing whatever. He just kept bugging me, saying, "Hey, David, let's do something." And then I thought about it, and then I thought, "Hey, let's maybe we should make that old tribute that I've always wanted to do."
Yeah.
And we started pre-production for that. And originally, it was going to be just something very simple, right? It was about a brother, and he wanted to test his skills, and he would issue a challenge letter, you know, and that was it.
Right.
But like as I mentioned earlier, as a lot of short films, they tend to become bigger than what they originally meant to be, and so I started thinking about, you know, let's do something more, and then this more traditional. Let's have a bit more of a story, but what's the story should be. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if I nailed it or not, but I know in a lot of these old school martial, because at the time, I really wanted to nail this, right? So I pretty much locked myself in a dungeon and got every martial art DVD, old school movie I had, and just went to town, right? I watched as many as I could get my hands on, even the most obscure ones, like one that I only recently discovered, and I kicked myself for not discovering it any earlier, was Mystery of Chess Boxing.
Oh, yeah.
That is a really good movie. And on YouTube, they have the full thing in the original Cantonese language with subtitles. So if anyone wants, so if anybody wants to check it out, it should still be on there, hopefully.
Okay.
But,
that was good.
you know, movies like that, you know, and so I would, go to town, and I noticed a certain trend with these movies is that a lot of them, and this is nothing new, right? I'm sure you're very well aware of this, is that either the master is killed and the student goes to take out revenge, or a student is betrayed and leaves the school, and so then the student has to regain the school's honor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I noticed that trope a lot. So I thought, let's try something a bit different. And so that's kind of where the idea of, well, what if rather than issuing a challenge, one of the older brothers wants to issue the idea that he needs someone to take care of his son.
Right.
And at first I didn't really have that much confidence in the idea, but it wasn't until I told Therese about it, then I thought, you know, she kind of liked the idea. And then when you talk about things in the third person, you know, you get more clarity, and you think, okay, maybe we can work with something here.
Right.
So that's how that came about, and
I love the poster already. I mean, that's
thank you.
No, we have to shout out to some friends who did that for us. So I think his name was Robert or God. My name is, I've never been good with names, but I have to. Yeah, so this is what happens when you get people interested. But
if you go to our Silver Harvest Instagram, you'll see his name. You can go. Follow him.
We've got some few fans, and they just said they love what we were doing, and they kind of just want to do that to show how much they appreciated it.
Awesome.
Robert Lackner. So thank you very much. Sorry.
And another person we really, really want to thank is the instructor, the sifu at the
yes.
Guan.
So we filmed this in a dojo.
At the Guan, in the Guan, not in dojo. In the Guan, in the martial space, martial club. It's a Jalga, Australian Jalga Academy. If anybody's in Sydney listening, whatever, and wants to try martial arts, definitely go to that place.
Right in the heart of the city.
In the heart of the city. And you know, Joshua Smith, he's a really good guy, very kind, was very nice, let us trash the place and didn't say a word. So I just really wanted to thank him for that. And so a lot of and it's funny because the guy, originally it was never meant to be filmed interior. We we're going to film it outside a temple or something.
Right.
But then it wasn't until that the guy who plays my co-lead, he had a friend called Joshua Smith who had this space and said, you know, he's really cool, and he usually lets people lend it out to film and stuff. So maybe we can talk to him and he'll let us film it. And then boom, and it turned out much better, you know, so much better.
Nice,
it gave that kind of like texture to the film, you know. And I'm just
so let's watch it. Let's get
sure.
let me
I'll talk a bit about it.
Let me go to the website. I mean, the channel here. Bring it up. All right.
I need to
Therese,
apologize.
you okay?
Yeah, it's just technical difficulties.
That's okay.
Just
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah. Let's keep going
You want me to play?
because you can
Okay.
still hear me, so it's all
Okay.
good.
All right, chat. We're gonna watch the short film here again. Just read the subtitles. There's will be no sound.
Yeah, no
But
sound.
you'll hear us
but
talk about it.
Yeah, you can hear us blab about it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. It'll be a little glitchy because it's screen share, but it's fine as long as we can talk over it there. Okay. Boom.
Here we go. You know, this is, man, I've seen this movie too many
God.
times. I'm sick of it. But
That's
here's
what Antonio the editor.
I love
here's
that.
the,
Yes, I was. Yeah, it was a lot of fun
yeah,
designing that.
Teresa was the one that designed this opening here.
I love the music.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you gotta have it. You know, you gotta show your roots. Gotta show where you were inspired from. And of course, we have this as well.
Yeah.
This
shout out to Hong
little.
Shin Films. They've been.
Yeah, shout out to David Hong and Hong Sin Films, who's one of our associate producers and who helped us a lot during filming.
Love it.
He was great too. So this here, I don't know if you noticed, Preston, but this is my little kind of nod to Fist of Fury at the beginning. There's a similar narration in Fist of Fury. So this is my little nod to that. And the person who is narrating right now is actually my dad. My dad is the one narrating. You know, it was funny to trying to getting him to pull a performance for me, but
hey, that's all good.
I think he did all right. You know, I think he did all right. Yeah. It was funny too. You know, my mom thought we were like arguing or something.
Dude, this is great. Look at this. This is so
so
old school, man. This is
very
perfect.
old school dojo. So when we went there, we kind of just like we have to use this place.
Oh yeah, you know,
they do line dancing too and stuff.
When I first saw this place, I fell in love with the whole atmosphere, and I just thought, you know, this is it. We have to film here.
Yeah.
That's Andy right there, right?
Yeah, that's Andy right there, and that's how you spell his name.
And he's on TV as well. So so shout out to him.
And he's got his own YouTube channel.
You got to have the sound effects of the.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. And if you look in on one of the red poles, you'll see like a picture.
Someone you might know.
Someone, yeah. So again, another Fist of Fury nod is that picture of Hoya and Ja.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, you know, maybe the timeline doesn't fit, but you know, we just.
The characters that they play don't actually meet in real life anyway.
Yeah, So we were.
Accuracy is gone out the window right from the back.
Yeah, we were just playing around a lot with fan service. You know, we threw accuracy, timeline type thing out the window.
And I don't think it's Andy's head, by the way.
No, I think it is.
No, it was you.
Oh, is it? I don't remember.
You can even hear the film grain.
Yes. Oh my God! Thank you so much for noticing that. Yeah, that
awesome.
was something I put in. Oh man, we get this asshole here. But you know, I mean, you know,
there he is.
Andy's character, his character isn't no schlock either. Like his character is also based on another famous legendary folk hero, played famously also by Jet Li in the new Legend of Shaolin. I'm sure. Hum Hei Kun.
Hum Hei Kun.
I don't know if you've seen that movie, Preston. Yeah.
I'm enjoying the fight, man.
What can I say about this?
Good, yeah.
We see the fight here. Look at this dude. Look at David go, man.
So Emmy's trained in weapons. So one of the
I think we went through like 3 umbrellas.
Oh yes.
Fight? Yeah, we went through 3 umbrellas. Man, these were cheap umbrellas.
It got to the point. They were used well.
Yeah, it got.
Look at this dude. Showing off.
You know, you gotta have those feats of physicality, right?
The sound effects were a little loud, so I couldn't hear you during the fight. That's why I was like, let me just watch the fight. But yeah, go ahead, keep going here. That was awesome, man.
Thank you so much. You know, I was very scared of that scene because with weapons, you know, you got to be very careful.
Yeah.
And Andy can sometimes be known for being a bit of an airhead sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was like telling him, hey man, you're holding a spear, so really watch out, right? Really watch out. But he was really good, and he was.
But
was
I love the umbrella, man. To get that
Oh yeah, no,
sound,
I mean,
the umbrella.
Man, for me, right? Like I always saw the umbrella, yeah, as pretty much what Captain America's shield is to Captain America.
Yeah.
Is that the umbrella has to be that umbrella.
Oh,
I mean, obviously made very famous by the first guy who played Wong Fei-hung, which is Kwon King in the many black and white movies. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of where I based this version of Wong Fei-hung on his version. A little bit on him, and you know, it's funny in my own head. Like I always saw Kwon King as the ultimate Wong Fei-hung to become. Like he's the one that.
So he's your favorite.
Well, he's not necessarily my favorite, but he's the one I really respect. Like he's the one that I know that everyone is obviously trying to select. I see Jet Li. Yeah, he's trying to go his way onto becoming Kwon King. Jackie Chan as well, going on his way to Kwon King.
Gordon Liu too.
Yes, yeah. You know, I see all of them just. Everyone is just trying to go onto their way to be the Kwon King version of the Wong Fei-hung, because he's the main canon I see as. But so pretty much, yeah, that's kind of where I was coming from. Is that I was trying to.
I'm just gonna throw this out here. That first fight that we just watched already, it's already better than the whole movie Snake Eyes.
Oh man, you know that's.
Just throwing it out there.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I hope people are listening.
Man, that was phenomenal technique, man. Man, you're good.
Thank you. You know, it took that was something very important, you know, because we really had to get a lot of the technique right. Like for example, right, like with Matrix, you know, at the time when we first saw the film, everyone was blown away by this type of action, right?
Yeah.
But then as the years have gone by and as we've gotten more of that type of thing, we can see the shortcomings of Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne, because they're not martial artists, right? But you can see that they're really giving it their best and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
They trained.
They trained. Yeah. But when you look at Jackie and Jet, you know, no matter how long. It's like they'll always be the top, you know. They'll never go out of date. They'll never go out of date, and so that's what I was trying to kind of.
From Once Upon a Time in China.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome,
I'm so glad you noticed a lot of these things. Again,
great,
you know,
soundtrack.
We were trying to. I mean, again, you know, we were just trying to we pretty much were making a huge fan service to people who like these kind of films, like people who would recognize the umbrella, people who would recognize the two characters, people who would recognize the music, the techniques used, you know, and that umbrella fight, you know, that was something really important to me. That's something, unfortunately, I don't see a lot nowadays.
We're going hand to hand now.
And here's the ultimate fight that we were thinking, and you know,
you making Samurai want to do some shit, yo. Like you make me want to do some.
Hey man, you can. You definitely can. I mean,
I just threw.
You have so much knowledge.
I just threw my back out right now. It's not gonna happen. Hold on. Oh, Therese is back.
Baby.
Hi. Yeah.
Thank God, Therese is back. Thank God. Thank you, Therese.
Technical difficulties. All right.
I just tried to do some Wushu and I just threw my back out.
You're just in time for the main.
Here we go. I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at this.
Oh, the powder. How many times do you have to sort of that's
well,
you gotta have that in old school.
Dude, the movement and the timing here is fantastic, man.
Thank you so much. This is something we worked so hard on, you know.
Yeah, so 4 hours, and it wasn't easy.
Look at this, Chad. Are you watching this right now?
We had like sometimes we would just work on one shot a night, you know, because that's how. I mean, this type of stuff is not easy. Like,
no shit.
Yeah, that one, as you see in the.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that one took a while. Yeah, you know, again, you want to combine some modern stuff with the old school too. We wanted
Now,
to
who's
try.
direct? I know you're. They have IMDb has you down as director.
Yeah,
Did you direct the whole thing, or did Therese help, or?
Yeah, no, I directed the whole thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my God!
I was the one holding the camera,
Thank you so
basically.
much for keeping the camera the way it is, man.
Oh yeah, that's all Therese.
Jesus
Therese
Christ.
You're welcome.
is
No, it wasn't
You
easy
know-
though, because these guys are fast. I'm just saying that
Love
right
it.
now.
Oh, the dust off.
Yeah.
Dust it off.
Gotta have that.
All
Gotta
the-
have
oh,
these
here we
little
go.
gestures.
Woo!
And
Look
boom,
at them go. Man.
man.
Yeah. I've got to just keep shouting out to Joshua again for letting us use his space for as long as we did, because interesting story. Not only was Andy at the time on set for Shang-Chi, he also ended up getting injured. So there was a time.
So we had to put a pause on this film. We had
for a little while.
There was a period of time where I didn't even know if we were able to finish this because of COVID, because of Andy's injury, because his commitments to Shang-Chi at the time. There was just so much doubt in the air as to whether or not this film would be finished. But
we did.
We did. I don't know how. Looking back, I don't know how we did it, but it eventually got there. Eventually did. But this is Yeah, there's the little Lau Kalung, fisticuffs there.
I love the different camera angles, but you still show all the action. You have the above shot.
That's very important.
Oh shit! You did the Guyver kick. What?
Yeah, the Guyver.
You just did the Guyver kick, yo.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
At the time too.
That's it.
Watching.
I'm sitting down. I'm meditating now.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of showcase a little bit of a Buddhism type. Yeah, here's the famous no shadow kick. We had to.
Oh god.
And shout out to Hong for doing the stunt doubling.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And there's the what you call it, the picture in the background of Hoi and Joe again. Yeah. So, man, it's fun watching this with you, Preston, because I am so desensitized. I look at this and I kept telling Therese at the time, I was like, man, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. Everyone's gonna hate this. I hate this. Fucking Therese, what do we do? I thought I was finished.
Look at that.
And
Oh!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh!
But there's a little bit more. There's a
after credits.
But there's
Hong.
There's David Hong, the guy, one of our associate producers. Yeah, there's obviously acting or traditional. What can we? There's Joshua, the guy, the owner of the Jalga Academy. But man, what else can we say while these predators are playing?
Man, it's just it's so weird seeing a fact that we actually did manage to get this finished, because I remember spending so many nights on this, and it's just to get the shots right and everything, driving all the way to the city, and it's like,
which is it's not an easy drive for where we are, because we had to drive there. It'd be like a 60-minute drive or something.
Yeah, we had to wait until all these classes are finished.
And we had a very small window to film each night too, because we would always disturb the neighbors. Yeah, there was time where
neighbors. Yeah, basically what they meant, because it was in this.
There, huh?
Yeah, because he didn't duck. He didn't duck. And that's me getting hit as well. Yeah. We were trying a couple of things, but there's one where the umbrella's breaking.
Jackie Chan outtakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I always saw these outtakes as like, I really like them because it kind of lets the audience in on the filmmaking as well. It's like, it's inviting the audience to be like, well, it's, here, this is the process that we went through, and we're inviting you to come and have a look at that as well, rather than keep it all mysterious and keep a war between audience and filmmaker type thing. So yeah.
This hey.
Yeah, it's like even stuff like ordering the clothes in and making sure that they fit and stuff. It's like sometimes it can be a gamble depending on where you go.
But so this upcoming scene coming up, this was not
original. Yeah.
Yeah, this was never. We were never meant to show a kid at all. So if you guys were paying attention earlier on, this is the kid that the father was talking about earlier.
Oh.
And he's holding Wong Fei-hung's umbrella.
And he's got his hat that you see.
He's got the hat that you saw earlier.
Yeah, so basically, the hat was meant to be a villain for them talking about.
Yeah, like I wanted to kind of go do that mystique of like, you know, let's leave the there's me being good. I wanted to leave the kid being like, well, let's leave the kid's appearance to the audience's imagination. Like the only cue that we'll give is that hat, and get its father to talk about him a little bit here and there. But then
Finn.
Yeah.
But then Therese, you're the one who came up with the idea. We should have the kid. And how did you find the kid, Therese?
Well, basically, I was chatting with David Huong, and as
he's one of our production assistants.
So as it so happens, often in Zoom calls, you get invaded by either your pet or your little friends, little kids. So that's his younger cousin at the time. So he's 3. So when we're having like
he was 2 at the time, I think. He was 2.
Oh, was he? Yeah, even younger. So he kind of just invaded and took over the space where he was singing. And I saw him, and I'm like, I just gotta use him. Like he's so cute. And I'm like, and then what also happened was, David is also a filmmaker, and he decided to show me them doing a shoot at the area which you see at the beginning of the shot and the end, which is in Blacktown. And it's so beautiful. It's basically got like a Chinese pagoda,
Chinese garden and thing, and it's a garden that's in an area in Sydney.
Yeah.
And you know it's things, and it's funny too because on the day when we were shooting the kid, I was very scared and nervous because you know
this was the first time we met him basically. So there was
they also say in filmmaking, you know, never work with pets or animals because they're unpredictable, right? Kids and animals, because they're very unpredictable, right?
Right.
And I was nervous. I was like, man, how is this kid gonna react to us? How is he gonna react to the camera? What is he gonna keep looking into the lens? Is he gonna be camera shy? You know, so
pick his nose.
Yeah, right. So
eat the booger.
At first he was a little shy, you know. So I slowly approached him and I grabbed the hat. And the first thing I was like, man, I hope this hat fits because we only had that one hat. And I took off he was wearing a bucket hat at the time, and because it was very hot that day, so I took that off, and then I slowly put the prop hat on his head.
Yeah.
And for a couple of moments, he seemed pretty good. He seemed happy, and I was like, okay, maybe this won't be as bad as I anticipated. But then, literally, like a second later, he grabs the hat and he throws it onto the ground. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a long day, you know. This is gonna be a long day, but. Eventually he warmed up to us and to the camera, and then and oh man, that hat did not leave that head by the end of the shoot. But
so he kind of has it now, and the rest of the costume, like, you know, we had no idea whether it would fit. He still has it. He steals
the show, Preston. You know, he steals the show, man. When I was editing that sequence, I was like, man, we are finished. Nobody's gonna care about any fight scene, after they look at this kid. This kid is just way too adorable and cute, and he's stealing the show. So you know, I'm very happy that we were able to include that.
He's also named Derek, so shout out to him, and I have to thanks to his mom for letting us both.
Oh yeah, his family was very nice, very very nice and kind.
If I was gonna rate that short film, I'm giving it 5 stars out of 5.
Oh man, thank you so much. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have been as kind, but you know, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Great artists are very hard on themselves.
Yeah, I see nothing but mistakes, man. Look at this guy. What is he trying to be? Wong Fei-hung? No way.
No, that was phenomenal. You two. That was really.
Thank you.
That was good. Thank you. When I'm like excited, when I'm just like, it scratches the fucking itch, man. The action itch was scratched. Yeah, so
thank you, man.
That was great. Now I saw the trailer for Dragon of the Law, which we're getting ready to watch, chat, and I was like, "Yo, this is my shit again."
Thank you.
So for the Shaw Brothers, you got the traditional Wushu up in there, and this is like Police Story. This is like
80s.
Okay. This is So let's watch Dragon of the Law. So when the music's very loud and there's fighting going on, it's hard to hear you guys. I'm just letting you know. So I'm just not responding for a while.
Okay, no worries. I guess I'll talk to the audience then.
Yeah.
You can talk. But yeah, just letting you guys know. All right, let's check out Dragon of the Law.
All right,
so David is the law.
Oh, let's go.
Let's do it.
David. All right, so let's see, man. What can we say? So we were
this was our original location.
No, so when we were making this, we were in pre-production for Battle of Brothers, and originally, this was just meant to be a fight scene, you know, a cop versus robber type thing in a Chinatown-looking location. Yeah. But of course, this scene right here, actually, this is Therese's idea.
Not in the original, yeah.
Not in the original script, you know.
Nice.
Because and this was and again, this guy, his name is David Hong. He's another he was production assistant. He's a great guy, good guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to
helping
David.
us out. Shout out to him. But you know, this scene here, you know, I'm really proud of this scene. This is actually my favorite scene out of the whole thing because
and it originally wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah. So, right, because I feel like every
sequence we all previous out already, but then I don't know whether I should be revealing this, but I'll do this anyway. The reason why this halfway came about because the cast guy, the name that you see here, Michael Tang, is also on Shang-Chi, and as it so happened, he was required to shave his mustache and beard, shave his beard.
So it's not that noticeable, but that's why. Sorry.
Love the sound effects.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Of course, got to get those sound effects, right?
So this sequence kind of came about as a way to develop mystery. So he didn't actually, in the introduction, have to show his face until later because we actually shot the fight sequence first, as you.
So I mean, I and also, you know, with this sequence, right, we really wanted to set up the what I really liked about those old movies is that, you know, you get the hero right, but then you set up the villain, and sometimes the villain would look just. Sometimes you would wonder, how is the hero gonna defeat this guy? You'd get. I mean, I'm just trying to think of an example. You'd get. I mean, not the best example, but Rocky IV, right? You get Dragunov. You know, what was his name again?
Drago.
But Drago, yeah,
Drago.
Drago, and you just think, man, how is Rocky gonna beat this guy? You know, so the whole time the stakes, you know.
You just robbed that homeless guy?
Yeah, he took his big cigarette. And then boom, you know, it's not it's reveal, but
it's Kit.
This is phenomenal.
So, you know, I was really just trying
is that music from Hard Boiled?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
I'm scoring points.
There's a couple of Easter eggs to Hard Boiled, actually.
So there's his dad does the voice of the radio guy.
Again, my dad, another acting gig he was forced into.
Nice, yeah.
So he plays the captain on the radio. What was I gonna say? But you know, again, for this whole sequence, the beginning before this, anyway, we really wanted just to try and set up
establish
the villain or
basically.
The antagonist, you know, to kind of make him somewhat dangerous to the hero. And you know, I think everyone in this scene did a really good job. You know, I'm really proud of this scene because I'm just so proud of everyone.
So shout out to everybody. So that's Brendan and that's
Brendan. Works really good. The different camera angles are good.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's Therese's work. And boom,
love it.
And you see that gun's not gonna last so much longer.
Yeah, the guy came back. You know.
You
know what really kind of made me want to make this was because at the time when we were in pre-production for Battle of Brothers, I was watching, you know, Millionaires Express. You know that movie? Yeah, and I just love I love Sammo Hung. I think Sammo Hung is just, you know, everyone knows that his martial art choreography is just really solid and on point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, man, I really want to do something like this. And so that's how Dragon of the Law was born. It was we were kind of just itching to do something in a similar vein as what Sammo did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it turns out, it's someone. Yeah, I love that. And then here's another hardboard reference. You know, when he goes, you know, what he says. What does he say here? Tequila Square. That's tequila. You know, another
like it.
Inspector Tequila, right?
I love the credits you guys do, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
no,
like
yeah.
it just we're back in the early
It's
90s, late 80s, man.
I just had to make it
Look
do
at
it
that.
legit. It's so much fun. And yeah, so this was not actually our original location, believe
Okay.
it or not.
Yeah,
So
we went to another location, but apparently it was closed at a certain time. So we were like, man, and this is actually where I live, actually. This is my area that I live in. Yeah. And then I was so sad. Yeah, I was so it's a little small town. It's kind of known to be like Sydney's mini Chinatown. It's a very Chinese and Vietnamese based community. And so yeah, and then what can I say? Like as I was driving home from the original location, feeling all sad because it was looking like we couldn't. The idea that we couldn't use that original location. I was just driving around home, and then I saw this, and I was like, "Wait a minute, yeah, let's just film here. This looks great. It looks perfect. Yeah, perfect. I mean, I grew up.
So this fight was filmed first.
Yeah, the fight was filmed first. Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the first sequences you'll see, I still remember it because it took so long. Yeah, it's coming up, but yeah, I think it turned out for the best because the lighting here is just so perfect. Like you can spend so long just setting up lights to make sure you can see, especially when you're in an exterior location.
We didn't have to set up many lights.
But this was already lit up as it was at night.
Oh,
and luckily,
perfect.
It's not an area that.
And it's got that nice Hong Kong aesthetic, you know that.
Yeah.
The gates, the Chinese gates, and the statues.
That's awesome. You got the lighting already there for you. That's perfect.
Yeah, and the space. It's just that whole space is asking for a fight scene. Like whenever I grew up walking by that area, I always that's the first shot. I always thought, man, this would be such a perfect location.
Trailer shot.
Yeah, gotta put this in the trailer. You know, I'm very proud of this shot.
Oh. Ain't going trying to flex on David. Get that out of here.
But no, this guy, he did a really good job too. His name is Michael
Tang. He's got he's got some really cool kicking skills and
he was a good sport too. You know, he was really good sport. And you know, again, you know, I kind of cast. Well, some of the stuff that I've done recently, so far anyway, it could be different in the future. But a lot of the stuff I've done,
the flex.
Yeah, I mean, you know, stretch. he's gotta, you know, get back into it. He's gotta be like, man, I'm not tired yet. But
oh, love it.
A lot of the casting, even for Battle of Brothers, I tend to cast.
It kind of reminded me of when Benny the Jetter Keating punched Jackie Chan.
Punched Jack in the face. Yes, that's where I got it from. Man.
Nice.
I mean, Dragons Forever was definitely an influence.
Scored another points.
Boom. You know, and what is it? And this movie, I cast for people who are generally suited for the role. So this guy, he's in real life. He is quite a bit of a confident bastard. So he plays this villain really well. And in the last film, again, all casting based on who's right for the which part.
So we actually used him before, actually. So that if you go back, there is a fight scene.
Yes, there is a channel on our fight where we have worked with him before.
And we kind of just thought, why not use him again? Because he's one of those people that has that body conditioning and that skill set already, which makes things.
And he picks things up fast. He picks it up really quick.
Like, and everything is kind of natural thing.
So he understands the tempo, rhythm, and then boom.
Man, it's good stuff.
Oh man, thank you. Thank you, man. Gotta have that powder, man. I love the powder, you know.
What?
And I heard that Sammo Hung was actually the guy who pioneered the power powder. He was like, I heard he was the first guy to use powder in a fight. So, you know.
Man, that was phenomenal.
You know, at this point.
Snake Eyes.
At this point, you know, we want to set up, you know, maybe this guy is way out of his head, like.
Sexy Sumo saying he's loving the fight.
Thank you.
He's loving the fight right there. Yeah.
Mr. Sexy Sumo,
thank you. It's even better with sound. So sorry, guys, I couldn't share the sound, but
you know,
watch this fight again with sound. It's amazing. It's even better.
Yeah.
Yep. No heroes. And then, yeah, so again, I was just trying to set up the idea that what if our main guy or our protagonist might be in over his head. Yeah, and then we're not for long, not for long.
Stand up now. You done messed up.
You know, and he's gone all numb and Terminator-like. You know, he's got you know, and a lot of the stuff that the costume, right? Like that jacket.
Oh, beautiful.
That jacket is not something I have lying around. That is something we had to get for this film. You know, so a lot of this stuff, you know, we do put a lot of thought and care into. You know, a lot of the stuff into the film, you know.
Sexy Sumo's making his own sound effects.
You know, that's something I would like to hear.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And as we come to the close, yes, we're coming to the close. What is our protagonist going to do here? Is he gonna boom,
well,
and as many martial art fans would know where this song is coming from. You know, we had to put this theme song. I had to put this theme song in.
I love how the credits are even like old school. Like how you're showing the outtakes are like old school.
You know, I don't know. Just a bit off topic here. I don't know if you would agree with me, Preston, but I always thought Thunderbolt was one of Jackie's more underrated films, overlooked movies. Thunderbolt.
Oh, you know, believe it or not, I've never seen that one.
You ever seen that? Yeah.
I need to watch it.
I don't know why, but unfortunately, that film just goes under the radar for many Jackie Chan.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the film for a long time either.
Yeah.
It's like I was like,
maybe we could do a video. Underrated movies.
Yeah, you guys should definitely look into Thunderbolt. I think it's one of his, you know, unfortunately overlooked movies in the 90s.
He likes the old film look there. He's digging.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. We put a lot of yeah. Here's us. Yeah.
You guys make it look like those 80s those VCR things.
Yeah,
the grain and everything.
Grain, sound effects. You know, the color grade as well. You know, again, you know, these outtakes. I really like them because it's just a nice way for the audience to kind of pull the curtain away from the film, you know, pulling the curtain and being like,
oh yes, the skateboard was used for the push.
Yeah, you know, when you're working with a budget of $10, you can use whatever.
Right? Use what you get.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Whatever, yeah. So we've used trolleys, skateboards, you know, all the works.
You gotta have a fight scene with Therese, man.
Yeah,
you gotta go at it, man. She's gotta you gotta be running after the villain, and then she's gotta cut you off.
It'd be hard to try and find someone who I would trust as much behind the camera. So you know, we'll see. We'll see if I can find anyone else behind the camera to fill her shoes.
Yeah, I know. This was a lot of fun, and So we managed to wrap this up before the first wave of COVID hit. So we were on the edge.
We were lucky. We were very lucky that we
very lucky.
The speed and the timing, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's all right there. It's not like you guys sped up the film. Look, this is the outtakes. No.
Yeah, we really have to. And then
Man.
Again, when you're working cheap and low budget, you have to deal with outside interruptions. You know,
corners and everything
so
else.
You know. You have to kind of work again. What Therese mentioned earlier is that filmmaking is just a bunch of problem solving.
Hey.
And that's it. That's the end of. I'm retired now, guys.
That's it.
I'm retired.
That's what they all say. Though I'm just pointing out there.
Samurai's stamp of approval. You know what? I can retire happy.
Time to review it. 5 out of 5 stars again.
Oh man, too kind.
Guy.
But, you know, feel free. Once we're off the air, feel free to be like, you know what? I actually think that's a 4.5 or 4 out of 5. You know, now I see what David was talking about. Now I see exactly what the mistakes David was talking about.
I'm telling you, the itch has been scratched. As long as the itch
Thank
is
you, man.
scratched,
Thank you
so much.
I'm glad I could scratch it.
That was phenomenal. Chat, you got to check out all of these guys' fight scenes on the channel, on the YouTube channel, Silver Harvest. That way you can hear all the badass sound effects and the music and all that.
You know, before we finish,
I wanted to share, but I couldn't today. But yeah, go ahead.
No,
before we finish, we do want to just talk about a little bit about the current thing that we're making right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
did you still want to show? Did you want one of Therese's shows?
So it's Therese, did you want to see? Did you want to?
Yeah, let's just go to Intercept and just show a couple of those.
Which one?
These are a lot more shorter actually, but they're a lot of fun. So once you start airing it, then
which
I can
one?
go.
Yeah, up to you, Therese. Yeah, up to you.
We'll start with Intercept first.
Okay.
So this was one which was interesting because these two guys are Jong Won-soo and Dion. So these are two martial artists that kind of just came to me and David Hong one day to say, we wanted to shoot something, can you help us out? So it's like, okay. And they'd already choreographed the sequence. So in this instance,
So you pretty much kind of directed the shoot.
Yeah, so we kind of, so this was one of the first times I think that I directed the shots and everything. And like, it was a bit intimidating. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared whether or not I could actually do it, because normally, I mean, after all this time, it was normally David telling me where to shoot the camera, and I did have doubts saying whether or not I could do it. But as soon as they started, I kind of just could see it, like see where the moves could go. And
I think I was invited to this shoot, but I just didn't want to go. I think what was I doing over there? But Therese, I think Therese handled herself really well here.
Yeah, so sometimes you just gotta do it on your own to basically make yourself confident that it could be done. And it was a lot of fun to do, and these guys just made it so simple. So they had their own props, they practiced, and I guess if I could do it again, I'd probably do it very similar, except I would probably bring audio equipment. So as you can probably tell, it was dubbed over. Like we had to ADR because this was done in Mascot, so this was very close to the city. So the sound.
Also, so it's quite far from where we live, though.
Quite far. Okay. So but we managed to get this done in the space of.
How long did it take?
3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. And
nice.
David Hong did the camera work for this one. So this is one of the few times where I was not the one holding the camera.
So again, for those who don't know, David Hong is the guy who plays the beaten up cop in Dragon of the Law. So he was the one,
Right.
So
he's helping out with camera work this time around.
Actually 4 hours. Thank you, Hong. So
So again, it's like we're recycling everyone.
Yeah, you kind of
everyone is kind of just multi-talented like that, I guess.
Yeah. So you got so many cool guys. So Jong Won-soo does martial arts, and Dion, the guy who he looks like he could be in a K-pop band, I swear to God. But regardless, he's the other guy is half Korean, half Japanese, and he actually his dad teaches at a taekwondo dojo. So naturally enough, he kind of just took it up, and what you see is like that's why he kind of does all the kicking in this little short. And it's like as you might be surprised that I actually for the editing there wasn't actually a lot of posts that we need to do, like for the grading. Like in camera we actually make it look the awesome blues that you see naturally, and it's like, God, we have to use this to make it look like John Wick. It's kind of like when we first saw it in the camera. It's like this is what we can make it like, and it's like so this was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I hope it gets to showcase all their skills.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Silver Harvest.
So shout again to David. So he did the.
Yeah, we've given him so many shout outs this whole thing. But that's just a testament to how much of a help he is.
Yeah. So that is John, and that's Dion.
Dion, okay.
Dion, yeah. So hopefully this is just a start of many of the fight stuff that they do, because they've got natural talent.
Right.
And that.
These two are really good. They're very good.
Funny enough,
the lighting's really good.
Yeah.
Here. The lighting and the blues. And
I
do like the blue. Yeah.
And that's.
Like the music. It's a PS5.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's gone.
No.
I would definitely kill the other guy if there was PS5. You know, I'd definitely do that. Only one of us is leaving this car park with PS5, right?
Alive,
And it ain't you. It ain't you, man.
So this they had spent I think a week or something practicing this choreography before we came on board to this. So
nice.
So I have to add the double shot, which is maybe his 90s, and we'll see.
Van Damme would be proud of that.
Yeah.
Oh, double kick.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's where all his taekwondo-ness comes in. So, good. And fake blood and. So we may see a sequel, something with them again. Hopefully.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You never know. Got some.
We did have a few ideas for a dragon sequel.
Yes, that is
something I would like
for sequels for do.
An idea
And yes, he is not okay. And this is the first time I actually met Dion actually. So
did you guys use makeup as well for the?
We had fake blood. So we did. He had fake blood for this, and we also had the pill. The the vampire pill things that you buy.
Oh yes.
So and that is that.
Nice.
He never does find out what was in that bag though.
Oh, but, you do? Okay.
You never.
Oh, you don't.
You don't.
So you leave it a mystery then.
It is a mystery until there's a sequel or something. You never know what's in the work for these two.
There should be a PS5.
So yes. So this was done on David Hong's camera, which is a Canon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he was able to modify it to make it look like what you see, and he also took these photos. So hopefully that was a lot of fun.
Nice. That was good. I enjoyed that.
That was cool. That was good.
That was fun.
Yeah. And I guess this was
who did the music? Or did you find it?
We found the tracks for this one,
nice.
but I had to find something that was like John Wick.
It fits it though.
It does. So that's one of the things I always like doing is like finding the right music to fit the beats, because that half what gets people in for me is music, not just the visuals. It's a whole combination.
Yeah, music tells a story too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
nice.
So
all right, let's go to the other one. Let's check that
Next one. So this was a lot of fun, and both Davids were involved in this one. Although one more behind the scenes. Yeah. So this is called.
I did help a little bit.
Yeah. So this one is called Subtle Hoodie Heist, and there's this famous Sydney Harbour Bridge because you just kind of have to.
Yeah.
And this one, So this was set outside Luna Park, which is one of the famous parks we have in Sydney. And the guy
have you heard of Luna Park before?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, it's one of the bigger.
It's kind of one of the last ones that we have seen. And so one of the guys. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
I'm a hermit.
So in this one, you do see a return of Dion. But the guy that he's facing off in this one is Matt Vuong, and he's one of the people that I guess he manages subtle Asian trades. So if you don't know what subtle Asian trades is it's one of the biggest Facebook groups aimed for, Asian, the Asian diaspora. So Asian Australians, Asian, Americans as well. So it's got over 1 million? 3? It's got some big that started. So this was kind of like how this came about was him wanting to basically show off their merchandise. So
because they have a store. They have a store.
Okay.
So once you watch it, it makes sense. So it's all about the hoodie, and that's actually they sell it on their site. So it was a lot of fun shooting this because we spent a couple of days practicing developing the choreography in the park.
Yeah.
And then we just went to shoot when we thought the time was right. And what you see here. So you can start playing and then I'll start commenting.
All right.
So
Sounds
this was
fun.
I'm trying to remember when this was done, a few months ago. And we came back for these shots. So shout out to Matthew and Dion again.
Same guy from Intercept.
Yeah, and that footage is the actual store. So if you actually go onto their website from mobile, this is what it would actually look like. So it's like the graphics.
This is smart.
Product placement.
Smart advertising here.
Yeah.
And there's Matt. He's the one of the he kind of, I think he found one of the co-founders of Subtle Asian Traits as well.
Yes.
I think he was one of the guys that helped Matt founded it.
And that's his real girlfriend too. So
yeah. And there's the hoodie that they're advertising. We're about to see what we're about. Do we see a shot of the picture on the hoodie?
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, one of the things is the logo is actually very, very small. So it's one of the things. And there's Tom.
There's David Hong again.
He's just jacked it.
He's just
Literally, it's like I just wanted to take a photo. What?
Yeah.
And so we got some fun choreo here. It's like I think he's trained. I forget what style, but he's
also another person who does
Wushu. He does Wushu, so Wushu.
Wushu, yeah.
So
martial arts.
I do have an idea to do like. Do you know what? When I say Wusha, do you know what that means? That's very old school. So think of hero. Wusha. Okay, think of hero.
Sword play
stuff. So those traditional long hair, hero, Jet Li, that sort of thing. So I do have an idea to do that too. But meanwhile, they're fighting over the hoodie.
Yeah.
And we kind of were inspired with Jackie Chan, like you use what you got to play the idea. So
pay $800 for this, man.
I know those hoodies don't come. Good hoodies don't come cheap. I gotta say, especially with the good.
Oh, we're still going. We're still going.
Yeah, that's still going.
Give me my FUBU. No.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Guess who comes to save the day?
Ain't nobody getting the hoodie except for her. I love how I mean, notice the people in the background too. They're all.
Wait, what? She just walked.
yeah. She never wanted it. You know? She wanted the hoodie. she wanted the hoodie.
That's hilarious.
So it's kind of like no. So that was a lot of fun. So we all had a lot of fun. So that's Anthony in the background. He kind of helped with the camera work and the fight choreography as well. So that's kind of where all these guys came about. Yeah. But this was fun. And
that's most of the stuff we've done.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
So hopefully there'll be more.
But so the current thing that we were doing.
Yes. Let me hear
the current myths. So what can we say? I mean, it's like, well, we filmed like 30% of it, and but because we right now in Sydney, New South Wales specifically, we've had to go through a second lockdown.
Yeah.
So we've had to put a pause on filming that. But what can I say is that it's something very different actually. It's something quite different.
Okay.
There's still how do I word this? Physical feats being performed. Maybe not necessarily the martial arts, but there is still that same visual appeal that we try to aim for in all our works. So there's that. So it's something quite different. We hope people like you and fans of the martial arts will like it. I think you will. But that's the most we will say about that.
You haven't done me wrong yet.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm excited for the new project. I'm excited for
we're very excited about this new.
Is it on the hush yet? You can't say the name yet or nothing like that.
No.
Okay.
It's a little hush, a little bit. Yeah.
You can tell me when we get off air because you know.
Yeah. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But it's fun. And it was an honor to have you guys here, and it was just fun watching the shorts with you, and. It's just especially Dragon of the Law because, I mean, not only did it scratch the itch, and Samurai had to rate that some 5 stars, son, but it brings you back. So you got Battle Brothers and Dragon of the Law. Those 2 shorts are so badass. They bring you back to a time that was just fucking great. And it will never be equaled, in my opinion. I know I'm old.
I mean,
you can improve off of it. You can, homage it, and you can take what the old school has given us.
There's something about those movies that.
What I can say is that I think personally, because I feel like, again, it's just if it does come back, I think it's through the independent work, like even not even the rape, but also on YouTube as well.
Yes,
like for example, there's guys like Andy Long, Marshall Club, Flat,
Paper Tigers. You've probably seen that by.
And the reason why,
yes.
Oh yeah, I had the director on here. I had Bao Tran with me. So
fantastic.
And so the reason I think is because the reason why I think is that if you think about it, right, the Hong Kong old school, the mentality is that it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a stuntman, you'll be forced to be an actor as well. If you're an actor, you'll be forced to hold the lights as well. Whereas in Hollywood or in bigger budget movies, they're much more because of unions, because of too much tape, and there's too many hands, and there's too many spoons in the pot. So it's hard to filter out and make something really special. Whereas a lot of these independent stuff, they really are taking the Hong Kong mentality in the sense that, well, it doesn't matter who you are, just do. If you're an actor, do. And that's what I want to try and like encourage people is that, you know,
you have a phone,
just to make stuff.
You can be a filmmaker.
Just make stuff. You know, really make stuff.
We start from nothing and
train hard and make good content. You know, and that's what we need right now.
It's kind of ironic because even though we don't have a budget, being independent and doing things it's much more actually freeing than limiting than anything, at least definitely for us, because in terms of creativity, you can do almost practically anything if you have the right mindset.
We're lucky, right? We're lucky right now because nobody is kind of tapping our shoulder saying, hey, I think you should add this, and that in this scene.
Yeah.
Because,
you know, the higher ups. So we don't have anybody to answer to, basically.
Because and if you don't do this, then say goodbye to your money type thing, you know?
Right.
And it's like that type of thing. I mean, if you think about it as well, it's that at the time when Jackie and even Bruce and Samo were working for Golden Harvest, you know, Golden Harvest was probably the best thing that could have happened to them because Golden Harvest said, hey, look, to Bruce and Jackie, you're a big star now. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Name your price. Just make the movie and let us worry about the business side of things. And no matter what, like Jackie. I mean, I think Dragon Lord is one of those famous stories where he just kept reshooting, and no matter what, Golden Harvest never questioned him about it.
Right. Didn't that like break records, like Guinness World?
Like he was known for like
that movie.
And I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. You know, I mean that introduction of when he's climbing to grab the egg. Yeah. You know, I think that's something we'll never get to see. No. Again, unfortunately, because I mean the closest we've seen is Ong Bak, the beginning of Ong Bak with the trees. And stuff. But even then, like even Tony couldn't achieve the scale that Jackie had achieved. You know, he had like all these stuntmen at his hand, all these amazing trained stuntmen that unfortunately we'll never get to have again. And unfortunately, because we don't have a studio like Golden Harvest type things, a lot of us indie people kind of have to fend for ourselves. So we may not be able to achieve that big pyramid, crazy stunt
as of right now.
But we look around with what we do have, and then we make the most out of it. We do make the most out of it. Yeah.
Well, why do you think people are like fans like me and everyone else? Why do you think everyone's so excited, frothing at the mouth, foaming at the mouth? We're so excited for Raging Fire. Why is that?
Well,
because it's almost like a throwback to the good old badass days. It's almost like a throwback to the 90s and the 80s. Why do you think we're all like we can't wait to watch this movie? You know,
and I think
and watching Dragon of the Law kind of reminded me that's the good era.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
Yeah. I do want to say that. Yeah, I think right now Donnie is probably the only one that's probably gonna bring Hong Kong action. The only one doing proper.
This might be his best movie in years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean he's one of the few that hasn't jumped ship to China yet. So so he's still able to do stuff in Hong Kong and it's gonna be and Benny Chan's last,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. You can't go wrong with Benny Chan as well. I mean, he made a lot of great stuff, man. I mean, you guys were talking about. I was watching the video you guys did on New Police Story. Yeah. And I agree with you guys. You know, it is an underrated flick, and I think at the time people just people couldn't digest it because it was just so out of left field for Jackie. And so but then as time went on, and then people started accepting Jackie playing more of these serious roles. And people went back and be like, okay, this is actually. And you're right. You guys were right. You guys were like, Jackie's what, like 50 or something? And
insane.
He's still kicking like a 30-year-old, a 20-year-old.
I know.
So it's him, man. And Benny Chan did a great job at directing that flick, and I really felt depressed watching that movie, which is probably why I didn't like it at the time. And I was like, man, this is Jackie Chan. I don't want to be depressed watching Jackie Chan, but no, that's looking back on that film. No, that is a good film. That really is a good film. Yeah.
But I hate to wrap it up. I could talk to you two all day. As you can see,
I mean, we may have fumbled too much.
So much fun doing this. And
both of you said it. You gave some great advice for future filmmakers out there. You know, it was what you both nailed it.
I mean, I just want more people out there doing it so that maybe they can hire me.
Yeah.
We need jobs, man. So who knows, man?
Yes, more filmmakers, please.
So hire me. Hey, man, just go back and hire us.
Hire this man right here. Profile shot, baby. Profile shot.
Yeah.
Ladies man. That's right. Ladies man. But
this has been so much fun. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you were able to.
We had so much fun, and thank you for we really did get a kick out of this because honestly, we didn't really know anybody gave a shit about the stuff we made, so that's why we were so surprised and taken aback when you messaged me and said, "Hey."
I'm telling you, 5 stars for Battle Brothers and Dragging the Law, man. I'm not bullshitting.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's the
Thank
give
you
me.
so much.
Where can I pay it for the ticket? Okay.
That's
the kind of stuff, man.
Fortunately, you won't have to pay any tickets anytime soon. So
I know. Well, Silver Harvest, Movie Dojo Army, chat that is watching right now. Go to the YouTube channel. Its link is in the description box below. Find it on YouTube, Silver Harvest. Show some love, subscribe, keep an eye out for any future awesome content. Because if you enjoyed Dragon of the Law and Battle Brothers, I'm telling you, I can't wait. Again, I can't wait for the future stuff. So these two are awesome. Filmmakers on the rise, son. Representing, keep fighting the good fight, bringing us quality action. Because movies like Snake Eyes, they're fucking it up in the big budget spectrum. Okay, I'm sorry, but So again, subscribe to Silver Harvest. Follow David. Follow Therese. And I don't know if you want to live in Australia. Again, the spiders are this big. The smallest spider. No, just kidding. I meant to ask you guys. Did you run into Richard?
You'll get used to it. We promise.
I know, right? Richard Norton. Did you guys ever run into Richard?
I
my
personally
friend Maria
haven't.
has.
Yeah. I personally haven't run into
The connections are close, but he sounds
But
maybe one day.
Yeah.
He's just below us in Melbourne.
Hey, hit him up.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll do a fight scene or something.
But I have run into Brad Allen 1 or 2 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But nothing. He doesn't remember me, of course. But it was funny too because he had a not too dissimilar haircut to what you're having right now.
Oh wow!
The first time I saw, I was so taken aback. I was like, wow, Brad.
Well, we did both get the chance to meet JC himself. Just saying, we did.
Oh
yeah, very
awesome.
briefly though. Yeah,
I'm jealous. I am jealous.
It was very brief, but yeah.
But it's still cool. But aside from that, but you never know. Richard Norton, fellow Australian martial artist. So
hit him up. I mean, I had him as a guest. Unfortunately, the audio was atrocious in that episode. I don't know what happened. I don't know why.
Right.
You guys
unfortunately.
Don't worry. We know
don't you
about
love
that.
technology?
The audio was really bad.
Just when you need it most, that's when they decide to fail on you.
Right. It seemed like he had a good time, but I was embarrassed.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he will be happy to do another talk with you. I'm definitely sure he would be happy to do that.
But again, we got to make this your second home. All right, make this channel.
Thank you, man.
Home.
Thank you, man.
Come back whenever you want.
We might take on.
Yeah.
You might. Hey.
If I end up
put me in a fight scene and kill me off.
If I end up homeless, I'll be like, Preston. You said I didn't stay here. You said I was the second home.
I'll be like, this guy again? Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, looking at your sweet collection in the background, I mean, that's something I would love to. That's something I am so jealous of, man. That looks amazing.
It's fake. It's all a green screen back here.
Man, you gotta show how to do amazing.
One more time. Bam. One more time for all the ladies watching. And chat had fun watching you guys.
Well, all the ladies haven't run away yet, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin says here, 2 more amazing guests. That's right. Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Samurai. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
don't go anywhere
following the podcast.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere yet. But thanks for watching tonight, and thanks you two for hanging out with the old samurai, talking movies, martial arts, all that good stuff. And we'll see you badasses next week. And take care. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Okay.